It's another ridiculous night as my round table joins me, Ben, the Riddickulous Riddick, and rants concerning the nerd culture of yesterday and today. Joining me at my round table, never as always, Brant, Ramblin' with Range.
I have certainly been on the show before.
DJ Fluffkins himself, Sam Chen.
Wait, so we can't talk about tomorrow? You
No.
said present and past. Now that's sad.
Yeah.
There is no tomorrow.
There is no tomorrow.
If you remember the pre-show...
At least for us.
So here's the thing. Here at Riddickulous Rants, we at the round table, we like to believe that every day
Did you
is
not
our
talk
last.
about Alex at all?
I was getting to it. Also joining my round table in his Riddickulous Rants debut, Alex 1L.
Always going with the 1L or
Yes.
something of those sorts. Yes.
Alex
I'm here.
1L, host of the Passionless Irrationals.
Yeah. Nailed it. You really
Right.
blew that one out of the park.
Thanks. I'm glad. I was working really
They
hard
were
on that.
The Mighty Ducks rivals in the newly announced script. the passionate
sounds about
or
right.
whatever, irrationals.
Passionless irrational.
Well, for everyone that was here a couple days ago, we already recorded this week's Riddickulous Rants, but Brant approached me last week, and he was like,
in a dark alley.
Yeah, it was really creepy.
It's true.
I was standing somewhere, and all
As
of a
you are
sudden
now.
I just heard a whisper in my ear that said, "Hey Ben, let's do a Valentine's podcast." And then I turned around, and no one was there.
That's true.
It
I
was
have
the
a tendency to do
creepiest
that.
motherfucking thing on the face of the planet. By the
As
way,
do I.
we're an explicit podcast, so it's okay. You can swear as much as you want, I promise.
Well, that's good because I was going to anyway. So.
It's only natural when we're drinking as much as we are.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy.
Ben, so we're kind of this is totally your show, the Riddickulous Rants. You're the king of the nerdy nights of the round. This is your empire, but we're co-hosting this episode of this thing. So I have a question for you before we get into any of your topics, your drinking games, your methodical thoughts about how this is going to go. Why were you so dumb when you tweeted this out for the first time? You called yourself single and you have a wife.
Yeah, you know what? In theory, I am not single. I am not a lonely heart.
In theory?
You have a marriage license and a wonderful wife.
And this awesome wedding ring with the bat symbol on it. It doesn't get
Accurate.
it doesn't get more true love than that.
Right.
But unfortunately, my lovely wife, my better half, the person who makes me whole, the real leader of the Nerdy Knights of the Round realm, is in Dallas for an entire month.
Ooh.
So what I'm hearing is she left you. Do you want
left
to talk
me.
about this, Ben?
She left
Sam?
him for an airline, which is even more awkward. Not another person.
This is
Hey,
really awkward. For my
corporations
first
are
episode.
humans, okay?
Oh, I forgot about
That's
that.
what
You're
the
right.
Supreme Court said.
Very true.
Actually, as she packed her bags and walked out the front door, she said, "I'm leaving you for America." So
Good.
that was my my life a couple weeks ago.
At
So
least it was for all the right reasons. So.
it's always for the right reasons.
Was that the
when it-
tagline for divorce?
Okay, wait.
That's the tagline for divorce right there. Ben Riddick, divorce attorney at law. It's always for the right reasons.
You look like the camera's angled in a way that you're about to shoot one of those commercials. Like, have you been wronged in some very irrational, crazy way?
Irrational? Did somebody say irrational?
And that's where Alex...
Hey guys, be careful. This is gonna get too ridiculous.
Oh.
Too fast.
Oh,
I might start rambling. It's a fact of life.
Yeah.
We might
I
eat some
don't have
waffles
a
or
cool
pancakes.
tagline.
By the way, this is a clusterfuck of the worst SEO and inside jokes that nobody knows about. It's all of our little podcast things that like 6 people hear about, and we're like pancakes, irrational, rants, nights, rambles.
DJ Fluffkins,
Yeah.
you're joining us.
Yay.
I'm very happy you're here.
I'm happy
You
to
know,
be here.
Good. So tell us about your love life, Sam. Did your wife leave you for America?
Yes. Yes,
Yeah?
she did.
Maybe she's with my wife.
All the right reasons, like I said, man.
It's possible. My love life goes like this. Chris calling me on the phone saying, "Sam, why aren't you dating a stripper? You're in Vegas."
Which leads
is
me
a
to
fair
my next
point.
question: why aren't you dating a stripper? You're in Vegas.
I've been there, done that.
What?
You know what,
Excuse
Sam? You know what? If we're going to take a moment to talk about ex-girlfriends, I would like to point out that one of my ex-girlfriends from high school is now a stripper, and I find it to be the most hilarious thing on the face of the planet.
Why? Did
Because she
strip
was
to
a whore.
to the Benny Hill music.
I'll say this. One of my friends from high school, who is prolific on my Facebook feed, models for Playboy. And it's very distracting when she posts pictures on my Facebook. Like, on Facebook that show
But
up in my
like good
feed.
distracting, right?
Good distracting. But then, like, someone's looking over your shoulder at your phone, you're like, no, I'm not actually looking at porn. This is just one of my friends.
Yes.
She
Right.
did star in that classic holiday video of hot girls riding a Symbian and reading like Christmas Carol.
Oh, yeah, that classic, that gem.
That doesn't that come on right after Year Without a Santa Claus? On
Oh, I
PBS?
watched that. That was great.
That's how I warm up every Christmas morning. Then a cup of hot cocoa. Oh,
Yeah, it's true.
I'd say I'd put a link to that in our link dump,
Nope.
but I think that might be inappropriate.
Yep. This show's already like, it shouldn't be posted,
Wait.
but it's actually being broadcasted live, which is the worst part.
That is the worst part.
Can we tell if someone's watching? Because we should warn
Yeah.
them and tell them to go away.
So there is someone watching right now. I
my
can't tell
God.
who it is, but you're a good person. And you know what? Since you're watching, go ahead and tweet at us at RiddickulousRT and let us know what kind of Valentine's topics you want to hear about. And we lost our viewer. This is
Yep.
going to be a great show, everybody.
Sounds about right. Accurate.
So,
So, Ben, you
Alex,
had plans.
I had plans, and I drank them away because I don't remember any of them.
Okay, good. That means it's a Brant podcast.
No. We can't do that, Brent.
We have, but continue.
No. So I have a few topics in mind. We're a nerdy show. We're a topical podcast. We try to pick nerdy topics. So I have to ask, when it comes to video games, comic books, those are really the two nerdiest things that I can think of, and those are the two things that
Dungeons
I live
and
my life with.
Dragons. is
Dungeons
another.
and Dragons. That's a great one. What are some of your favorite relationships? What are the relationships you look up to? Alex 1L.
So, like, let's bring Persona into the conversation, guys.
Persona.
Let's go, like, right deep
Are you
into it.
a Risei Kujikawa fan?
I am a Risei Kuchikawa fan, if you couldn't tell from literally every background picture on every social media website I'm a part of.
I am also a big Risei Kujikawa fan.
Well, you're in good company, and you're also a good person. I did a spoiler cast for Persona 4 a long time ago, and half of it is just people getting upset at me because I like Risei and no one else likes Risei, apparently.
What? They
but
probably
yeah.
went for like Chie or
Yes, exactly.
motherfuckers.
Fucking those people.
Thank God you're not talking about something really niche.
I know. Exactly.
I know. I'm sitting here
Let's just
saying,
talk about
man,
this-
I wish I played that game before I did this podcast.
Japanese role-playing game.
Hey,
No,
I
if,
Sam,
I didn't get the
you
whole-
have a Vita now. You need to
know.
play Persona 4.
I'm planning on it at some point.
That game is absolutely phenomenal.
no. So Persona
believe
4
you.
Golden is my favorite game of all time, and I'm very vocal about it. So I just try to casually bring it up in conversation, no matter where I go or what podcast I'm
So
on.
Persona 5, you're excited.
There is no end to the erection. It just keeps going.
You know, if it lasts longer than 4 hours, you should call a doctor.
I was going to say, I think there's a technical term for that.
What if it lasts longer than 6 days? Because I think that's how long it's been since the trailer or something.
That's
I'm honestly surprised it hasn't rotted off by that.
this
by
is
then.
definitely. Have you been able to like think straight? That's a lot of blood, presumably.
I can never think straight, Brant. You know this. No, yes, I'm very excited. It's just that's my whole world right now. I watch that trailer every day for 5 days straight. So I'm one of
Wow.
those people.
Okay.
Alex 1-0. Tell us about Couples. Instead
Couples?
of Persona.
Well, like what kind of couples? Couples in nerdy things or just couples in general?
Yeah,
Couples in nerdy
people
things.
from your class
Answer
that
the
we've never met
freaking-
before.
I don't know.
You think Brenda's gonna end up with Jason? Because I do.
I'm just saying, I've been watching Gilmore Girls a lot, and the way Jess treated Rory was totally not okay, if you know what I'm saying.
I'm halfway through season 4 of Friends, and this Ross Rachel thing, I know it's going to work itself out, spoilers, but, like, it's really the yo-yo, I can't take it.
But, like, does it work itself out? This is the better question in the end. I don't know if you've ever gone through Friends before.
No, yes, I have. I'm just saying, yeah, I know, it ends with a little bit of ambiguity.
I love how everyone's dancing around the question that I asked.
Scott
Yes.
Pilgrim and Ramona Flowers.
Scott Pilgrim and Ramona Flowers.
It's my
That
number
is
one fictitious relationship.
that is also one of my favorites by far.
Mm.
Very easy.
I relate to the dumbness of that character.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do like Scott Pilgrim. I have my issues with that movie, but I'm a big fan of Scott Pilgrim. That's a good one, but it always feels like weird because the most important thing about that whole thing is that Scott loved himself by the end of it, as opposed to the other person, which is a lesson you should take away from just about everything. So,
Well, he gained the power of love, and then he defeated Gideon. Oh, we're just spoiling everything. Defeated Gideon.
Go read the Scott Pilgrim comics. They have all come out in color at this point.
5 out
So
of
you
6.
don't even have. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh.
5 out of
staring
6
at
of
my
them have come out in color. I'm sorry. I still only have the black and whites. So
No,
Yeah,
those
I've
are incredible, too.
I've only read the first one in color. So,
Mm-hmm.
that's a big one. That's a good drop, Brant.
are you actually going to tell us yours, Alex? 1-ill.
Like favorite couple in fiction? I don't know. Like I can't think of one off the top of my head. Like
Hermione Granger and Ron Weasley.
That is the most bullshit on the face of this planet.
Ginny Weasley. Yeah, it reads like fan fiction. Ginny Weasley and Harry Potter.
you know what? I like Ginny Weasley and Harry Potter. I'll be that guy. I'll just put it out there.
Harry Potter and Cho Chen.
Cho Chang,
Cho
please.
Chen. No, it was Sam's sister, Cho.
Yeah.
That was with
Yeah,
Cho
exactly.
Chang, right.
I mean, like all of mine are like from video games, and they're all like player characters, like
That's
Shepard. and-
fine. That's what I'm asking for,
Shepard
you
and Leon.
dumbass.
And like Mario and Peach.
No, that's no.
Luigi and Peach.
Okay, now we're getting
Mario,
interesting.
Luigi, and Peach.
Okay,
Mario, Luigi, Peach, and Toad.
Mario, Luigi, Peach, and Yoshi.
Oh.
That tongue, man. That tongue.
I'm
True.
just saying, like, don't like hate on relationships.
Listen, I don't know how you got a hold of my fan fiction, but I would like a critique.
8 out of 10, not enough inter-dinosaur scenes, I'll say.
All right, I'll work Birdo more into the first couple chapters.
I just got like this really explicit image of Yoshi's tongue like going through Birdo's
God.
whole face, and I just can't get
Oh,
it out of my
God.
head.
All right, moving on to Sam. What's your favorite nerdy couple relationship from fiction?
See, I feel like I'm in the same boat as Alex. I really don't have a good one off the top of my head.
Thank you.
Especially one that's like super nerdy. You know, like I don't know. Like I
No
watch
Han and Leia. Or
Or
Okay.
Luke and Leia, which is wrong, but still hot.
Hot and Greedo. Like I don't know. I mean, I think it's
Jabba and Luke.
just Jabba and Luke.
Padme and clone of Padme, or a woman dressed up as Padme in order to...
Wait,
Padme-
are
Padme and Natalie
we
Portman.
answering the relationship question or what's your favorite fanfic question?
No, we're just couples. I didn't think that I had this question as well, Ben. I didn't know it would be this hard, like pulling teeth. I thought that would be an easy one, a lot.
Yeah, I thought it would be too. I mean, the first one, some of my favorite relationships in games and in movies, I can pull them off the top of my head with no issue. Like, one of my favorite relationships, Bruce Wayne, Talia al Ghul. Easily one of my favorites. They have a kid together, Damian Wayne. He becomes Robin. He dies. He comes back to life. It's actually, I don't know that he's come back to life yet, but he dies, and that's
For sure,
That's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And I mean that's easily one of my favorites. And then there's Han and Leia. Han and Leia is a big favorite of mine. And yeah, I know it's not really like this kind of relationship, but Master Chief and Cortana in the Halo games, I love their relationship with each other.
We've been really, really, really explicit this episode, and you couldn't come up with the word non-sexual. You just had to use a pantomime.
Not,
like it's not like
Not
this.
No, I like the Master Chief Cortana relationship. I've only played Halo 2 and Halo 4, so don't take my word as God.
I haven't played Halo 4 yet.
Godspell. I completely lost it mid-word.
Gospel is the word you were looking for.
Godspell is easily one of the worst musicals I've ever seen.
Oof. I like the really complex relationships. Those are more interesting, I think. Or if there's some weird divide between the two characters, they can never be together in some way.
Or Cole and Trish in Infamous. I liked their relationship.
Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head, obviously.
Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head.
They had a decades-long relationship based on the time that happened came between the first and the third movie. It was like a decade.
Jesse and Woody. I mean, come on.
There you go.
Tom Hanks needs some love.
Yeah. He does.
I don't thinking of it my favorite, I think, complex relationship outside of Persona would be Shepard and Liara from Mass Effect, because a lot of people give that one a lot of shit. I don't really know why. It's always Shepard and Tali or Shepard, Femshep and Garrus, which I think both of those are great and excellent. But I really.
I was a Shepard and Liara person myself. Alex, we should be best friends.
We should be. What are we doing?
I know.
Because there's this moment at the end of Mass Effect 3, which is 3 years old now, so get over it. But where it's just you and her, and then she uses her mind meld powers to make it literally just you and her, and I thought it was really powerful. And all of my co-hosts on Irrational Passions are "Fuck, it's so stupid. Why wouldn't you pick Tali? She's clearly the superior option." But I don't know. There's a complexity with Liara that I think is really interesting. So
there's actually There's layers to your relationship with Liara.
It's not super smooth. You have the whole she's not in Mass Effect 2, and it's not perfect, and maybe you were with somebody else in between that time. So I think it's
like Miranda. I mean, come on, who the fuck wasn't with Miranda?
Have you seen that butt? I'm not kidding right now. No, I think that adds a really cool layer to it. And,
I would just like to point out I've been away from my wife for too long. I am looking at digital women's butts.
By the way,
if you're watching this,
my goal in my podcast, as Alex can attest to, is to bring up the Legend of Zelda: Majora's Mask.
Thank you.
Every single time. By the way, legitimately, Cafe and Anju, that is a good fictional relationship.
I was gonna hope that you brought this up because it was in the back of my mind too, but you've actually been playing it. That's a really amazing, totally heartbreaking relationship.
Yes, it is.
Because someone he can't be with the woman he was supposed to marry because he was transformed into a child. And how do you explain that to someone? It's this horrible, weird.
That's a 2-part episode of Three's Company. Who's Company?
Who's
Company? Godspell.
Not me.
Three's Company. It's a 2-part episode.
No, it's crazy and weird, and that moment at the end where Tattle is it looks like they're embracing mother and child, but anyone who knows them knows there's just this weird divide between them, and I think that's super good. I agree, Brant.
Good.
See now I feel like Sam. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Goku and Chi-Chi from Dragon Ball Z. Another good one. Vegeta and Bulma. Am I right?
Hey, how about Kirito and Asuna in Sword Art Online? That's a good one.
I love that relationship.
I do too.
I'm that guy that likes the first season of Sword Art Online, and thought that those 3 episodes that they spent in the cabin in the woods were the best 3 episodes from that first half of the season.
You know what? Seriously, we're best friends.
Okay, well, why do you think I wouldn't invite him on if I didn't think that everything would
Brant, we're no longer friends. It's Alex 1L and I from now on.
Who's
Friends with Ben is a zero-sum game.
No, yeah, I'm finally someone who understands me, Ben. I don't know where I've been my whole life.
What? You don't know where you've been or where you
I'm a little drunk right now, so I'm not sure where I am right now at all.
you constantly are just like, where am I?
Who are these people around me?
Look, Brant, I think Ben and Alex are no longer single, so I think they need to be off this podcast. It's just you and me now.
Good. Thankfully, I have this much gin to get me through the rest of the evening.
Oh, nice. I approve.
I have this much whiskey.
I have this much rum and coke. Please,
I've
somebody
got that
say
much
that.
alcohol.
Was this like the weird drunken fellowship of the ring? I'm like, with my gin, with my whiskey, with my
whiskey.
And my axe. I don't know. I just
We're
started
gonna-
drinking a can of Axe hairspray.
All right, yeah, I was gonna say. Okay, so let's divert for a second, because when you say Axe, I think of Axe hairspray. I think of the first time when I was like 13 years old, and you start wearing deodorant or whatever. You read the back of the Axe, whatchamacallit, the deodorant, and it's like may cause like opposite sex attraction, and I'm like, I know that's fake, but I really hope it's true.
Right?
I hope by overusing this like an absolute novice, I'm starting to rubbing it all over my body. Somehow this is going to end up well in my favor.
You remember walking into the freaking locker room after gym class, and every fucking kid was using Axe body spray?
Yep.
Yes.
It was disgusting.
It smelled,
was.
Boys' locker rooms smelled
But I used it.
like ass and axe. Those are the two
I
things
didn't.
that sell.
I had like a stick of deodorant, which was Old Spice, because I was a rebel, I guess.
This is before the commercial, too, right?
This is before Old Spice was cool. It was just
Yeah.
old then.
It was just literally Old Spices that I rubbed the armpit, and I
He
would
had
just
like a
use
bag
that
of
one.
saffron that he like sprinkled into his armpit.
Girls like this, right?
I've got Olive Garden seasoning. This is what I'm all about.
Breadsticks.
He's got the special butter from the Red Lobster biscuits, and he's just
All right,
rubbing it all over his body.
Let's be realistic here. If I was rubbing that on my body, I would not be single right now.
It's true. It's true.
Come on. No, yeah, everyone was like spraying it. You would go in and you'd go, and you would actually just start gagging.
I wonder how people, like kids who had asthma, actually dealt with that shit, because it must have been horrible.
I
can
had
tell you as a
7
kid with
asthma
asthma-
attacks. I'm not kidding.
Your doctor would be like, why are you having asthma attacks? You'd be like, puberty!
But here's what I want to know. What would have happened if, like, one of my friends, like, I don't know, I know we're, like, 12, 13. What if one of my friends, like, smoked in the locker room and just, like, lit a match? All of a sudden, the entire locker room would just burst into flames.
The scene from Zoolander.
Yeah, it would be the Zoolander scene. They come out of a coal mine covered in gasoline, and then suddenly they're all on fire. Or someone's like trying to light their crack pipe. I don't know why that was the image in my head. In the locker room full of Axe body spray.
I went to Catholic school. There was nobody with a crack pipe.
Oh, not that you
Well,
say
That you know of.
yeah. No, if I went to Catholic school, I probably would have ended up smoking crack. Hit with a ruler, and then you're like, oh, this is my only option now.
This is my irrational passion of the Christ.
There we go.
This is meth.
There we go.
Thing.
Oh, that was one of the rules of my drinking game. Anytime somebody made a stupid pun, we had to, like, chug for a second.
Chug. I'm just gonna
I don't know.
like lightly.
I'm gonna sip. I'm gonna sip so I don't die by the end of. We're gonna be at this.
Hey,
for
you know
God knows
what?
how long.
You see this? You see this?
All right.
It's gone. There
I
we
don't
go.
even know. Was that the whiskey? Because
That was the
Jesus.
whiskey.
Oh boy. We're in for
I
a
need
party,
more.
aren't we? I should have brought my bottle out. Anyway, what were we talking about, Ben? You're the host. Lead me.
We're talking about Axe body spray. By the way, I let us.
We
down
are
on
talking
that.
about it.
Which is that's the time. Like middle school is when you are the absolute worst at everything.
Yes.
There's this weird societal pressure where you're like, you're 13 and 14 and like 15 years old. How come, or you're not, or like whatever, like 11.
I'm pretty
12,
sure
13.
at 14 and 15 we're in high school.
Yeah, no, you're right. 11,
Yeah,
12,
put
and
it that way.
13, there's just like, once you hit 13, they're like, well, you should start talking into the opposite sex. As if we, at 13, just figure out exactly how things are going. We're just rubbing bodies, fucking deodorant and spraying ourselves with body spray. And girls in our classes have to deal with us being like, just the worst.
Well, like when I was 13, when I was in 8th grade, we're drawing back here. I had the long hair like I do now, but it was even longer, like down to my shoulders. I looked like a dog that was let out of some kind of dog prison. And I had these like the bright blue braces, and I looked disgusting. And like I was that through my sophomore year or so. What is draw me the image of Ben, of Sam, of Brant. What is 13-year-old you?
Okay, Ben, go first.
Okay, so 13-year-old me always had to carry an inhaler in his pocket.
Me too. Hey man,
So
I have chronic asthma, so
yeah. Me and my albuterol were best
pipe.
friends.
It is a crack pipe.
That is what he just said. Very good.
Continue.
So I did that thing where I would buzz cut my own hair.
Oh.
That was cool.
You thought prison was cool.
Yeah.
Look as much like an inmate as you could.
Yeah.
I was
He
the
was
nerd.
at the crack then.
I carried around a comic book in one hand and just like The Hobbit in the other hand, so that I could read both.
Dungeons and Baggins is what you're saying.
Dungeons and Baggins.
Oh my God.
Yep, there we go. There's another
That's
one.
a drink for
God.
you. Holy shit.
Bed's out.
I'm proud to know you after that one, Brant.
Well,
Yeah, that was really
two
good.
drinks is the max lucidity. So continue. This is only going to go downhill from here.
I'm like 4 drinks in, so I already
I
fucked up.
was incredibly tall. Like I still am very
As
tall.
opposed to now.
But
Now
I was abnormally tall. I was at least 3 to 5 inches taller than everyone in my class.
Like, how tall are we talking? Like 5'11", 6 foot?
Well, I don't know how tall I was then, but I'm 6'4" now. So
Okay. Yeah, that sounds about right. 6 foot, probably. Grew another 4 inches in high school.
Okay.
This is my drunken arithmetic. I don't know
Yep.
if you can keep up.
I feel like that was almost a pun. Or a double
Almost.
entendre.
Yeah, I was about to take it there. I did grow 4 inches somewhere.
My waist, I got fat. All right, so is that okay? So you're a tall guy who's got nerdy stuff in both hands.
And I was picked on nonstop. It's a wonder that I had not committed suicide in my middle school year.
Were you like lanky or fat though?
I was
That's
lanky. I was.
okay.
I mean, come on. Do you see me now? Could
Yeah,
you
but,
ever
like-
imagine me being fat?
Yes!
Yes, I can.
I imagine everyone being fat. I don't know about anyone else. No, that's an important question because if you were the fat middle schooler, like that's a whole other ball game we're talking about right then.
Oh, and in middle school, tried out for the basketball team. Got onto the basketball team just because of my height.
Yep.
Sucked at basketball.
That's why I never attempted it. People are always when you're
Absolute
tall,
garbage.
People just think that you can play basketball. I'm like, that doesn't make me coordinated. It just makes me tall.
Yeah.
Okay, that's called being white.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go. That's
See,
the
if you're
word I
tall
was
and black,
looking for.
boom,
So in middle
done.
school, I was white.
That's the best name for your memoir I've heard yet.
In middle school, I was white.
I like that.
Yeah.
Let's see. So I was also abnormally tall. I had longer hair than I do right now. But I went to primary school, aka like elementary school through high school with the same people. So I was just
I did not. I
really-
went to 13 different schools.
Right,
Oh,
exactly.
Jesus.
So I see why you like Batman, because you could reinvent your identity. The shitty things I did when I was like 6 or 7 were not erased. For like 13 or 14-year-old Brant. So 13-year-old Brant, tons of body spray. The first time I ever bought Axe
Tons of
body spray.
Probably used the whole can in one go.
Right.
Shut off your load too quickly, man.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So the first thing is, I get the Axe body spray. I spray it on myself. I'm in my house. There's no rational person. My mother and I have just gotten back from CVS.
Would you
and
say
I'm
it's
like,
an irrational passion of yours?
It's an irrational passion of mine.
I agree.
So I sprayed this on me, and then I walked into my living room. My dad was sitting on the couch. And he just looks at me. He was reading. He looks up from his paper at me. He says, "You smell like a French hooker." And then he just folds it back up.
I need to beat your father, Brad. This is like all you've told me now.
Yeah, this is yeah, that was so and despite his kernel of wisdom, it was definitely true. I kept overusing it for all of middle school and high school. Taller hair. So I was always known as the nerdy kid. Anytime that a computer question came up in a class, the entire class would turn to me. So you could imagine that my prospects were not particularly great with the ladies, because they didn't, once they started getting laptops and stuff, then it's like, oh, my computer crashed, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to fix it. And they're like, all right, they patted me on the head and sent me on my way.
Thank you, Brant.
Yeah, all the girls
That's the Croatian accent that I just came up with in my head.
Good, because I went to school in America, which is great. By the way, everybody knew I was Croatian, so that's another thing. They're like, Brant's just a Croatian computer geek, and I'm like, while that's accurate, I'm also more than meets the eye. And the last
Hey, you know what? At least you don't have a genocidal dictator that was born in the same country you were born in.
No, but my mom worked at my
Thank you,
middle
Adolf
school.
Hitler. Oh! My mom was my substitute teacher.
Oh, shit! How did you not bring that up before?
Because I didn't honestly think about it.
He repressed that memory so far back.
Everybody loved
So
my mom,
far
which is good. But
Oh, see, my mom one year she was doing a substitute class for like first or second grade, and she goes into the class and they're like doing arts and crafts, and this one kid cuts a heart out and walks up to my mom with this heart and says to my mom, "This is your heart," and he just starts ripping it to shreds and throwing it on the ground. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that pretty much summarizes my entire senior year of high school in a weird way, so...
That Metallica's The Black Album, which is it's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, it was more of like a Chinese democracy also summarized my senior year of high school as in like a train wreck, but...
Yeah.
What about you, Sam?
Yeah, seriously, Sam. I want to hear about middle school Sam. Please paint me this picture.
I think... So I grew up in the Midwest, and I'm at like a private like rich kid school, but not like a Christian or a Catholic school. Mm-hmm. 8th grade was probably around the time my parents stopped dressing me.
Okay.
Because up until that point, I was like, this seems normal. And then, you get picked on enough, you're like, okay, not normal. I would do things like put on productions of the Godspell, so I was a theater nerd.
I was also
high school
that
days.
theater.
But that typically means that you people got action, because the theater is notorious for polyamory.
True, in high school, yes.
Yeah, in high school, not middle school.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
not maybe at your middle school.
No.
So yeah, I mean, I think it feels like a combination of everyone else's story because I was definitely that guy, the Asian guy who fixed the computer. But at some point, because back then computers really just fix themselves once you reboot it. I'd just like go and touch the computer and be like, all right. Turn it on,
registry
fixed.
files.
Yeah.
So it was all the registry files.
Yeah, I mean, man, back then, I remember, so in 6th grade, my school, like, adopted a laptop program. So, like, everyone from 6th grade to 12, because it was a really small school, had laptops. So it was amazing, and they broke all the time, and they had, 256 megs of RAM or something like that. And even then
It was a rich school.
It really was. It really was. 4 gigs of hard drive space.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That actually sounds pretty impressive.
So many JPEGs.
So many Do you have any idea how much porn you could download from the internet that would take 5 hours to download a 256 kilobyte?
Yes, but the good thing is that Kazaa let you it buffered it, so you could just watch and you could be like 5 minutes later there'll be a boob. 5 minutes, still a boob.
Only 5 minutes.
I think in 8th grade that was probably when we first got the cable modem, so I had faster internet.
That's really nice.
I trolled on IRC a lot.
Oh,
a lot. Yeah, back in the day. I was really part of that, like, the original group of people who, like, distributed anime on IRC. Or, like, the second generation of those people. Remember when MySpace was about sharing files?
Yeah.
Yeah. Instead of sharing secrets.
Sensual secrets.
It's true.
Is that what MySpace is now? I don't know.
I don't even know what MySpace is now.
Ashton Kutcher bought it or invested heavily in it, and he
Yes.
got Mila Kunis. So if that teaches you anything, it's buy a defunct tech company. Beautiful women will love you.
Yeah, that's how it worked.
Okay, so I'm on MySpace.com right now.
Okay. Where do I buy
And
stock?
it looks like it's just music.
Oh,
All right, Can I make a MySpace segue?
Oh wait, Spider-Man's 5 hottest and craziest girlfriends.
where was
wanna
this
see-
there?
Please, Brand, make a MySpace segue. Save
We got
me.
Mary Jane, cocaine, heroin, weed. Part 2. Yeah, MySpace. So I'm gonna ask you the maybe the worst or weirdest way you've ever been broken up with. MySpace message. The year was 2005. And I started dating this girl in my freshman year class. Because, see, in high school, it was 2 middle schools came together to form the population of the high school. So there was 50% of the women didn't know that I was the biggest doofus on the face of the earth. So I had time to be like, no, I'm not weird. I switched from geeky T-shirts to band T-shirts. You know that Blink-182? I totally know all their greatest hits. So I dated this girl, and I was like really excited because you have a really warped sense of reality until you go to college or you leave wherever you came from, because it's typically you're hanging out with the same people for a long time, and so that feels like the world extends only to the places you've been.
Yeah, that doesn't happen in college.
No, not at all. Well, Homecoming was coming up, and I'm like, I've seen enough teenage movies to know that Homecoming is a big deal. And so I was like, I'm gonna have a girlfriend. There's gonna be Homecoming. I don't know what's gonna happen, but it's probably gonna be good, from what I've gathered.
I
And
can
I'm like,
picture you so clearly in this moment too. It's the best. Keep
yeah,
going.
no, I'm playing my GameCube games at this point. I'm like,
He's writing on his live journal.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't have a live journal. I just had a journal. I was playing Game Boy Advance games at that point. Oh no, excuse me, DS games. I was like playing Super Mario 64 DS, and I'm like, a girl likes me. And then 2 days before Homecoming, I got a MySpace message, and it's like, yeah, this is over. And I'm like, oh.
Oops.
Wow, 2 days before?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, man.
And then I still went to Homecoming.
Of course.
And I was hanging out with another
And
girl.
she
who
did
was
too, and then she
Oh,
was
she
there
did
with
too.
like the
With another guy,
Yeah.
I saw
Okay.
who she traded me up to, or whatever for.
So
She
again,
traded
while
you
we're
into
talking
games,
about
though. Yeah.
exes and video games,
Yes.
I've got another great question for my lovely round table.
Answer the other one, fool! I posited the question of worst or weirdest way you've been broken up with.
Oh, I didn't actually hear that as a question. I just heard that as that was a statement that
No,
you
that's a
made.
question.
I have never been broken up with. I've always done the breaking up.
Oh, me too.
Oh.
Ben, what are we the same person?
I think we're the same person. You're gonna have to change your last name to Alex Too Ill.
Down to the shitty wordplay you two are. Well, that's why I said that we should all have this podcast together, because I knew that this would coagulate.
Oh
well,
my God.
I have only been broken up with. I've never broken up with a
Oh
girl
shit.
in
I'm
my
sorry.
life.
How
Yeah,
many?
no.
Are we willing to reveal numbers here?
Enough.
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 So I only have 2, so
I have
I've
more
only...
than that.
Okay.
Ugh.
Sam,
But
what
no,
about you?
like, yeah.
So, it's weird because okay, let me put it this way: it wasn't her breaking up with me or me breaking up with her. It was a circumstance of events at this boarding school I was at, which involved me being told that I was never allowed to come in contact with her again.
From like a third party?
Yes. The school was like, yeah, like 50 to
school.
100 feet. Yeah, no.
Excuse me, Mr. Chen, there's a change.org petition. Never contact this person
It
again.
got 100,000 signatures.
Pretty unanimous. That's some straight up Romeo and Juliet shit.
Yeah.
It is. I don't think she wanted to see me after that, so, that kind of worked out that way. But
Wait, what the hell happened?
Like, did you guys get in a knife fight in a bar at the boarding school or something?
So like
No.
what I'm seeing is they were like this this crime gang that went into banks with like guns and just started banging at the teller until everybody got uncomfortable and left. Is that what happened, Sam?
A valid strategy.
Yes,
also
that
worth
is what
noting.
happened.
Okay.
You'll see the film adaptation soon.
Oh, good. I can't wait. It's called 50 Shades of Grey, right?
Yeah, apparently.
50 Shades of Chin.
Oh,
Sorry.
God.
So Ben, what was your question?
My question was this. I want you to pick the ex that you have had that has got to be the worst possible person on the face of the planet. Or, worst possible ex that you could have had. Maybe not the worst person on the planet, because we all know who that is for me, and I'm just not going to talk about it.
I'm not going to talk about it only because the reason why they've all broken up with me, there's valid reasons. I've been the jerk in virtually every single one of them.
But here's what I want you to do. I want you to pick the worst that you have dated, and I want you to compare them to a video game character.
Oh.
Well, what?
All right. So I don't know if you guys have played Dragon Age Inquisition, but
I sure have.
you know Vivian from Dragon Age Inquisition?
Yeah.
Who's like, I got my own thing that I gotta worry about, and I'm gonna use you, and then that happened to me. But that's like the most perfect example I can think of that. I hated Vivian in Dragon Age Inquisition. I don't know if that comes across as clear as day here, but she is not very pleasant to be around. So I've been there.
You know what? It was a girl that I almost dated, not a girl that I ended up dating.
I don't know if that counts.
It so does, because we were online in high school. We were online to get breakfast at before classes started, and it was me, one of my friends, and her friend, and me and this other girl were kind of friends, and she knew that she liked me, and she was just like in front of me was like, Brant, you're like not attractive, and this is never going to happen. And I'm like, well, that's not the best thing I've ever been told by any human ever. So she's the great mighty Pooh from Kronker's Bad Fur Day. Fuck it all.
That is brilliant. Sam, what about you?
So, I mean, I don't think I can't really describe any of my exes as the worst whatever in the world. So I think the thing that's closest that I could describe would be the Ghost in Destiny. An ex who's just she's always there. She always wants to talk. She doesn't ever do anything. That's basically the relationship. So that's as close as I've got for evil.
I got the next question.
Hold on, I didn't get to answer it.
Oh,
Please,
sorry. I thought you were going to say.
Ben.
So, for me, I'm very similar to the Ghost from Destiny.
Okay.
Except for me, it was Navi from Zelda.
All right.
Yeah. Where she just wouldn't shut up. Always complained that I didn't listen. Can't remember what she was talking about, but that's not the point.
She was telling you to go to the Great Deku Tree, you schmuck.
God, it's so obvious. Just go to the Deku Tree.
That's true.
No,
But that would be mine.
I feel you.
That's
Nagging all the time.
Brant,
Hey, listen. Yes.
you're ready. You said you got the next question.
I
wanna
do.
know.
There we go.
So the whole entire reason that this is all happening, besides the fact that we're all in a situation in which there's no lady around us, is that Ben and I did a Riddickulous Rants episode, which is why I can explicitly say that this is not like my first time on a Riddickulous Rants. And then after we ended the show, Ben told me one of the greatest stories that any human has ever told me. No, we're not going to bring it up, but
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I was like,
What
oh
the
my
fuck?
god,
Whoa,
please,
whoa, whoa,
for
whoa,
the love
whoa,
of God,
whoa.
I hope that Kenny and Lee do not listen to this episode.
By the way, I didn't even name the characters, so you just said who it's about.
I
but,
mean,
oh,
I
no,
meant
no.
Nikki and G.
Yeah, so anyway...
They sound almost exactly the same.
It's true, after a few drinks they look the same, too. So, Kenny G. Oh, that's a good fan fiction name. I'm going to write that down.
Oh, shit.
Or friend fiction, as Bob's Burgers has coined the term. But anyway, he told me this story, and it was, I mean, it was one of the greatest. Like you can't. I would say that it was fake, except the fact that you couldn't make it up. So that inspires.
Let's just put it this way. Imagine the most amazing cock block you could ever come up with, and times it by like 10.
It was brilliant. It could not have been staged. It was anyway. So it inspired this question for me. What is your biggest romantic failure? What thing completely blew up in your face that you were just like, I think I got something here. Something good's going on. Now I will answer this question, and I'm going to tell you I proposed to a girl once.
Really?
Yes.
I proposed to a girl once too, Brant.
So yeah, I know. And the first sentence of this story, which is legendary, and it will explain so much. The first sentence of this story, you're gonna go like, I proposed to a girl. Clearly, I'm not married. You'll be like, oh, and then you'll be like, oh. So at one point you'll be like, this makes sense, and you'll be like, oh, that's still horrible. How did this happen? So the story goes, I was 5 years old.
All right.
It was the Clinton administration. Things were going well.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm 5. I've seen a lot of the world. I was born elsewhere, multiple continents. I've seen it all. I think it's time to settle down. I think I've seen as many girls as I'm ever going to see. And so there was a girl in my class. We both went to like preschool together at a Catholic preschool, and then we both ended up going to public school. And I was like, I've known this girl for years. This is gonna go really well. And to our credit, to my credit, she actually, like, we spoke about it. And I was like, yeah, like, I like you. And she's like, I like you too. And I'm like, well, there's
Can I replay this scenario real fast in the tone that you would have used back then?
Sure.
It would have been, Brant says, I like you. And the little girl says, oh, I like you too.
Something like that, yeah.
And
then the teacher says, you guys cannot be seen together. The school steps in.
No, this isn't Sam's life. This is mine. There was no scholastic intervention. So I decided if I'm gonna go get married, I should get a ring. That's what you need to do if you're gonna get married.
Please tell me you got her a ring pop. Please, for the love of God, tell me you got her a ring pop.
It wasn't a ring pop, but it was a ring that you get from a 25-cent machine at a grocery store.
Nice.
Actually, you know what? I splurged. I think it was 50. Don't quote me on that.
Oh.
Memory might be playing tricks.
One of those machines that you had to stick 2 quarters in.
Yeah. It was
Inflation.
It was 50 cents in 1996 money. So we're talking like thousands of dollars now. And I did it. I proposed to this girl. I went to class.
Brant said something along the lines of, will you marry me?
Yes. And she said no.
No, she said, no, fag!
No, she said no. and then she proceeded, so she ripped out my heart. It's like a fatality. She ripped out my heart. And then she's like, by the way, my dad could get me a nicer ring. So that was the end of the fatality.
Oh, no!
Oh, my gosh. That was fantastic.
So, 2 things that you can glean from that. 1, I have a very weird relationship with Irish women who I tend to date. Somehow that stuck with me. And 2, I now have like an irrational fear of when I ask a girl out, I'm like, I know how bad this can go. And it's bad.
My dad could be a better date than you.
Did somebody say irrational?
Yeah. It's true. Every time we say that, Alex 1-0 gets $1 American dollar.
I get half of a cent.
Well, that's like anytime someone says ridiculous for me.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, thank you.
Ching.
We gotta pay. We're paying it back. You know,
paying it forward. So yeah,
I say irrational. He says ridiculous, and
is that
you just said it twice.
Is that the beginning to like your 1970s sitcom together? He says ridiculous. I say irrational.
Pops up those little nice yellow subtitles, and then somebody starts singing "Too Many Cooks" or something like that.
Oh my god.
So yeah, that is my greatest romantic failure. Every time, even I asked a girl out like 3 weeks ago, and she said yes. But like I was
Hashtag
My
humble
big
brag.
failure.
no, but I was like crazy nervous. It was like an unnecessary amount of like, no, but you have to understand that I'm. It's one day. It's a thing. It's a this. It's a that. It's a whole other. And so yeah. So Ben, barring the thing that we're not going to talk about.
Yeah.
The story of not telling. Do you have any other fails?
Yeah, I do. And you're gonna love it. So, I was hanging out with this really awesome, beautiful woman. Okay.
How old were you, by the way? Set that stage.
20. 19.
19.
19 or 20.
Okay.
Okay. So, you know, I'm hanging out with her. We're going to see a bunch of like movies together. We go to this party together. She helps my family move from one house to another.
It's hardcore.
And here's the thing: when we were moving, there was a room in our house. It was my sister's room. It was this dark purple color. And my mom asked this girl, "Hey, would you paint that room back to white for us?" Which is no easy task to paint an almost black room to white. And to make it better, when we left and started moving some of the stuff, my parents they closed her in this room. They closed the door behind them. None of the windows were open. And I get back and she's
sound
dead.
like crazy.
No, I'm just
people.
kidding. No, I get back and she's like just hysterical, and it's absolutely ridiculous. What all's going on? That she starts throwing the paint roller at me.
Oh, how romantic!
Exactly. So all that this huge paint war, and at the end of all that, you know, I had this huge crush on this girl. And I'm a complete and total fucking idiot when it comes to women and liking me.
You didn't ask her out, did you?
No, I did not ask her out.
You weren't just like, listen, I know my parents are kind of weird, but would you like to join the family?
So no, I didn't ask her out, and you know, we kept having, you know, these kinds of interactions with each other. At one point after that move, I get a text message from her. And she just says, "When the fuck are you going to ask me out, you asshole?" And I am married to that woman to this day.
Oh, and then
Oh,
it's
really?
sweet in the end.
Okay, so
Happy
was
ending.
was this question
course.
about biggest fails or like tell us your biggest humble brag story? Because like
No,
that
that's
was
where I
that
see
was my
where this
humble.
is going.
Look, you know what? My relationships have been really awesome.
Oh,
So I really
Oh,
I don't have a whole lot of failure stories.
Oh, good.
So-
Next
so-
time I see you, I'm going to throw you down a well.
so I haven't been on a lot of podcasts. Can we throw the host off the podcast? Is that an option?
Yeah, we'd have to create a new hangout, but I mean, I could do that for the sake of Ben. Everything is so good in my life, Riddick.
Hey, what can I say? My parents almost killed my now wife. Okay, let's be honest here.
No,
It's
no,
a
no.
miracle.
Let's talk reality. The fumes is why she's your wife now. They did you a favor, man.
I'll never tell, Sam.
That's true. All right, so Sam, what? Yeah, biggest fail.
All right, so-
I told mine.
So I've got two, and one's not really a fail, but it's really close to like Brant's story, so I'm going to tell it anyway. So the biggest fail, I was probably like 8, 9, and like, you know, it was just like I was what, like the 4th grade, whatever, and there's just this girl in my class who I really liked, and like, you know, we'd talk, we'd hang out. Like this was back when you had like recess and you like went to the yard and you walked around, right?
oh yeah.
So
Did
So
you
I
bring
think
milkshakes to that yard?
Did they
No.
by chance
No.
bring other people to the yard? Or speculation.
Did you teach other people and had to charge?
So the moral of the story is my milkshake wasn't really that good. No. No. So long story short, it was like, I don't think it was Valentine's Day, but I found some excuse. Maybe it was her birthday, and like I sent her flowers. Like one of my friends in my class, like their parents own a floral shop, so I was like, hey, can you give me some flowers? I'm gonna give this girl, and like. She was, like, absolutely disgusted with me for bringing her flowers. And, like, would not talk to me ever. And would literally, like, run away from me if she saw me coming. Like, not a, like, let's duck behind the locker. Like, full sprint running away. And, like, I just really did not understand what the hell I did wrong. And I still don't think I do to this day. But apparently, like, merely thinking that I like women makes certain women run away. So, so that's the worst story ever. Now the one that was that Brand story reminded me of. So, when I was in Florida, I lived in like a 5-bedroom house with a bunch of guys, and then for a period we had like a female. Oh my God! One of my friends just texted me, "I drink your milkshake."
Hey, listener.
Clearly listening.
Yeah.
Weird how that worked out.
So we had a female roommate, and she had a couple of friends who'd come over, and like I was really into one of them, and we'd hang out a lot, and at some point, like I think we were driving to a club, and we were talking about this idea of like, how scary it is for men to like ask women out, like just how nervous you get because rejection is just this awful thing. And so she goes on to talk about how, like,
I don't know what that's like.
I hate you, Ben.
Like, that's the summary. That's like the subtitle for this podcast. I hate you, Ben. We're hashtag humble brag.
Yeah. So she was like, yeah, so I understand, like, if a guy gets the courage up to ask me, like, I'll usually at least go on a date with them because, it's not easy to get up that courage, right? And so I'm like, whoa.
Oh my gosh.
I figured it out.
She just laid the biggest pro tip on you ever.
Wait, are you telling me?
This works. Well, obviously not all women are like that. I wasn't, like, completely naive, but I was like, all right, I got a shot. Asked her out, rejected. Of course. So it was, I was kind of upset. Yeah.
Justifiably, I think.
I think so. I think so.
All right, Alex.
No, see, like I can't do this because my love life has been nothing but not funny for pretty much the entire span of my existence. Like we start talking about like things that have been horribly unromantic in my life, and I'm pulling the tragedy lever on just about all of you. So maybe it's best if we just move forward and
But
not
you
talk
haven't
about
done even as a kid. You never told a girl that you liked her, and then it just ended poorly. But now is kind of funny.
Here's the thing about me, like from let's say years 5. Well, there's an okay one. Years 5 to 10, I was like the worst human child that has ever lived. I was just so horrible to literally everyone I came in contact with. I was a terrible person, terrible little compact person. There was one time where I had invited a girl from up the street. Like I lived in a kind of like rural-ish area.
How old were you, by the way? You gotta say that so we have some context.
I think I was maybe 7.
Okay.
So I invited her from up the street. Now, when I was young, I had 2 dogs at this time. I usually had 3. And they were Saint Bernards. If you're familiar with the Saint Bernard, if it's a big
Please
dog.
tell me about Saint Bernards. I know nothing about them.
Have you ever heard of Beethoven?
What is Beethoven?
Like
the musician?
Yeah, I was going to say symphony. Right?
Like,
not the musician, the movies Beethoven, which is about a big Saint Bernard dog. Just Google image search a Saint Bernard dog.
it's a very large dog. It's very big, and it's
Ben is
perpetually
trolling
3-year-old.
you. He's a
I
dog
am
trainer.
100% trolling you. Been
Okay.
a dog trainer for like 9 years and now work as a veterinary.
I thought Brant
nurse.
was asking. I was like, I know Ben knows.
Yeah.
Yeah, or just like imagine like the Alaskan, not for you anymore, Ben, but anyone else, like the dog with the barrel around its neck that goes through the snow and rescues
Some
people.
weird
In
ass
Alaska,
Donkey Kong shit
not
is-
in Switzerland, like those
yeah.
myths originated.
So just okay, girl up the street, invited her over. Back
I
on.
invited her over. So my dog Belle is like this beautiful, purebred white Saint Bernard, very like mellow. Usually ends up anyone with darker skin, which is like my dog is racist, so we have to establish this right at the gate. And she comes over and we're like playing in the backyard, like the sandbox, just doing 7-year-old shit. And the dog goes absolutely insane and starts.
So wait, hold on. When you say 7-year-old shit, are we talking first base, second base?
Ooh. Oh.
We're talking about like at least 5 feet between us, base. Because I'm 7.
Which was like third base when you were 7.
Oh
Yes,
yeah, I was like,
exactly.
I can't
No,
get
that's
any
the kind of
closer
bases
than
I was
this, can
talking
I?
about.
Yeah.
We're
So
in the
like
same sandbox, dude.
we're in the same sandbox, so I've gone pretty
We're
far down the
already
line.
sharing cooties because we're sharing sand.
That's true. It's an airborne disease.
Yeah. So the dog comes billowing down like my backyard, and it just starts snapping at her hair. She runs away and runs back to her home, and I don't see her again for 2 years, screaming the whole time. So that's like my worst, I guess, romantic gesture. That's the least depressing of them all.
Good. That's a funny story. You could lead with that one.
Okay. It's all downhill from there. So
Well,
That's the best I got.
get tips from Ben.
yeah, Ben, enlighten me.
Wait for her to ask you why the fuck you haven't asked her out.
Yeah.
Look, I think the moral of the story is, in order to get women, you need to be Ben. And I'm really not sure that's a price I'm willing to pay.
It's
Yeah,
a
I'm not
fast
anymore.
bargain, definitely.
I think I might actually be Ben, so I don't know where I fucked up.
No, I think that you got all the bad stuff, and then he got all the good stuff. It's like you're living like the alternate sides of the coin.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Okay,
that,
okay, hold
that's
on.
the coin that we're living.
So what I'm hearing is this is like Portrait of like Dorian Gray. So we need to kill Ben,
So
and then
so
we'll get.
It's like
all
it's
of
like the
energy.
Flash. There are two of us sharing the Speed Force. So because both of us are sharing the Speed Force, neither of us can utilize the full strength of the Speed Force. So if one of us were to kill the other, we'd be able to harness the full strength of said Speed Force.
I'm reverse Ben. I like to
Exactly.
I like to imagine like you're unbreakable and I'm Mr. Glass. Like this is the situation we're in. That was a deep pull. Thank you for understanding.
Yeah, of course you understand you. We've just established this. Keep up with the lore. Got any more? Got any more? Ben number 1. Any good question?
Can I be called Ben Prime from this point on? Ben number 1 just doesn't sound right.
Jesus Christ! Every time with this.
Yeah, then Alex is Ben East, and now there's Ben South, and then there's Ben Australia.
Dude, don't even get me started on Ben Australia, okay? The guy
Dude,
has
it's
got
so much cooler
that
than
guy. He has the accent, man. I don't have
under.
that.
You have a wife. Shut up.
You're married.
No,
what are you talking about?
What he's saying is, if he had the accent, he'd have like 5 wives.
Exactly.
That's where he's going.
I'm
Well,
not
I
sure
mean,
that's how it works.
If Ben is also me and I get married, doesn't then Ben have two wives? I don't understand.
I see.
If Ben falls in the woods and nobody's there to fucking see, I mean, Ben is Ben.
Is Ben dead? Oh god! I hope this doesn't end with us all just realizing we're Ben in different ways.
That would be an interesting twist. All right, so Ben, Ben Prime, whoever you are, do you have any other questions?
Damn it. I did have another question.
All right, go.
So, it's Valentine's Day today.
It is.
Okay?
What?
It's one of those, it is a stupid, god-awful holiday.
Right.
But it's one of those excuses to be a little romantic.
Yes.
So, that being said, I know one of Lee and I's favorite things to do is to sometimes sit
Humble
down,
question.
turn the turn the lights out, and
Turn down for what? I'm sorry, what? Continue.
sit down and play a fun co-op game
Okay.
on the PS4.
That was
You
a
know what
really
I'm saying? No. No, but what do you guys think are good games for couples?
Super Smash Brothers, so we can tear you apart.
I wonder why you have really weird and bad romantic experience.
No kidding.
No, I can only think of competitive games. I like
Mario
to play
Kart.
adventure games with like my friends.
Mario Kart's typically good.
Mario Kart.
Mario
is good.
Kart. Mario Kart brings out the worst in people.
Really?
No,
Like
but
more
it
than...
can rile you up for stress relieving activities in the future.
Okay.
I guess there's that.
I'm a big fan of the Little Big Planet franchise.
Yeah.
That is one of my least favorite franchises that I've played.
You know.
And I understand that people love it, and I have no qualms with the fact that people like it. It's not for me.
I think
Unlike this podcast, which is all about you.
Yeah.
apparently.
My name is fucking in the podcast, guys.
I like adventure games. Like I just played through Life is Strange with my roommate, which is like it's not very romantic, no, but it's something that it's fun to play with other people and see how they play it differently.
I tend to play one of those Bible games for the NES. Really, just get down deep into the why we're all here and stuff, man.
The Lego games are one of my favorites.
Oh,
Yeah, the Lego games.
Those are great. I just freaking love playing those games. They're so great. They're funny, and
They
all
are
that.
really funny.
But another set of games that I'm finding are really good are the Telltale games. Even though they're not co-op per se, there is so little. I mean, it's like Life is Strange. Kind of.
I was saying adventure games in general. Yeah, Telltale is also bunched into that.
I feel like that's co-op enough, right? Like,
Yeah.
there's certain times where you like need to actually control something, but like, you guys can make decisions together about what to
Yeah,
say.
it's like
that's
the
co-op.
big thing comes up, and you're like, oh, kill him. No, I want to keep him alive. No, kill him.
But then you're like, what do you want for dinner? Like cheesecake. All right.
Cheesecake for dinner. What?
Yeah, if pizza's on a bagel, you can have pizza anytime. But see, you guys are falling into an interesting trap here. Now, Ben, your romantic life, I'm knocking on wood for you, buddy, being serious. I hope is just set for life. I hope nothing bad, because if all of the good karma that you've got stored up ends up in a really bad karma way, then there's damage control that needs to be
I
done.
think like I will just get the bad karma from Ben. Like it'll just get tossed off to me, and I'll be like, well, I'm fucked for the rest of forever.
He's
So
reverse Ben.
yeah.
But you're making an assumption here. You're making the assumption that a girl that you're dating or that you're with is like not particularly a gamer. Like if you're dating a gamer, then you've got the options open to you. So like if your significant other is into like RPGs, you could play entries from the Tales series or like
Yes.
Eternal Sonata, or there's a whole like wider plethora of games that you could play with somebody like that. Down to, of course, whatever the first-person shooter. Nothing says love like a first-person shooter.
Nothing says love like Borderlands. Let's be real here.
Yeah.
Borderlands is an amazing co-op game.
No, Borderlands is great. Diablo 3 on consoles is fantastic co-op.
Right, I agree.
Like, highly
Does it have
recommend.
couch co-op?
Yes, it has all couch co-op, so you can do 4 people together.
Oh, nice.
And
which
actually, no, make your point. I'm sorry.
Which I've done with my friends, and it's just tons of fun. So
So to that point, what if we put a spin on this question
Sure.
and limit yourself to one game? What game could a girl play with you to prove that like you would be like, man, okay, this is the girl for me now. Like, she can play this game, she's good at it, whatever. Sold.
I don't know, because I mean, I've dated so many non-gamers that it really doesn't. I mean, it's not a prerequisite of mine. I think the next game that I'd love to play with a girl, regardless of skill level, is actually Child of Light. Even if, because there's a main character and a supporting character, and I would even play the supporting character if she was like really good at games where you could take turns or whatever. Now that I'm thinking about it, but I don't know. I tend to be more of like an RPG kind of guy, so I guess if a girl dug games at all. In fact, I think this is I'm gonna take a diversion here. Have you ever run into couples who, like, people who are attracted to other people who are the same as them? Like, that is so not me. I think you should have some common ground, but people who are like, must find my clone. I think that is sometimes not the direction you want to go.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm pretty inexperienced, but I would imagine that I tend to agree with you, Brant. Like, find someone.
You wouldn't be like, oh my god, you're incredible, but like you don't like Persona, like fuck you.
No, I wouldn't do that because maybe I could introduce them to that, and they could introduce me to something that they like. So
introductions will be made.
Yeah, I think that's important. Like, I don't know, anytime I think of like playing a game with someone else, I imagine myself watching and them playing and enjoying it for the first time. Like, sit down and watch a girl play The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask for the first time, for example. If she enjoyed it and she was patient and she stuck with it, then I know. But like, the Tales franchise is like a really good pull for me because I play all of those games, and having someone to just hang out and joke about the story and play them with me would be tons of awesomeness. So.
If a girl just hung out in the same room while I was playing video games, I think that would be like, because it's something that I'm irrationally passionate about, or even if they're doing something that they really dig. Like, it doesn't have to be. I mean, everybody should have like me time. Like, if you want to play games, you should be able to like.
That's the thing on the Wii where you create the guys that look like you, right?
Yeah. Me time.
Nailed it. You just make a new one that looks exactly the same every week. So.
Nailed it.
This time I have a little bit of stubble, so I need to create one for that.
Right, there's a bend for every day.
Every occasion.
If there's a bend for every occasion. But, like, I think that's kind of really cool as well. So you should be able to do things with each other or whatever. That's some real pro tips right there.
Yeah.
Date somebody
Life
who
hack.
has, kind of similar interests as you, but also is like, has their own kind of trip going on. They can do their own. Kind of thing. So when it's Majora's Mask time, if they don't want to be around, they're doing their thing.
I like bring someone into your life that can introduce you to something new that you might like. I think that's like the best thing, the best policy.
Bands, games, movie. I'm a movie novice, so if a girl came up to me, or I was dating a girl who's really into movies, I could be like, yeah, all right, bring it on. I don't know any of this.
Yeah, or music for me, because I know nothing about music.
See, that was me also. My wife knows a bunch of music. I do not.
Of course it was, Ben. Why don't you just bring that home to me again? I'm just kidding.
I mean, except for musicals, I knew Broadway shows very well.
See, I'd like to meet a girl who knows like a lot about musicals because I like them, but I know nothing. I know nothing.
They could be your
You stay the
musical
fuck away
guru.
from my wife, then, okay?
I think you're pretty far away from me. You don't have to worry about it.
Or does he?
I don't even know where you are, so that's even better.
I'm in Maryland, the state that rules all of Marylands.
Oh, good.
Oh, that's true. That's an accurate statement as another East Coaster.
Brant's only 4 hours away, so
That's how people judge themselves. Like, where are you? I'm about 12 hours away from Brant. He's the point of reference that everybody uses as
I have no idea where you are.
How about you, Sam? What game would a girl have? What game would a girl pick up for you?
I feel like a good co-op Portal 2 session.
Absolutely. If your relationship can survive Portal 2 co-op, your relationship can survive anything. Trust me.
Exactly. That's my mindset.
That is a dangerous thing. You shoot a portal at the ceiling and at the floor. You let them fly through it, and then you shoot another portal at a wall so they fly into the lava, and it's funny until they look at you.
Yeah, I mean, there's a chance that the night could end really well, or there's a chance that it would end with me hugging a weighted companion cube. You still got it. Either
Those
way.
odds are always both there. It's just like which one has more weight at that point.
Yeah.
Whatever point.
No, yeah, you're right. Like if a girl was like, I want to play Persona 4 Golden for the first time with you, this is it, the end. Cap it off. Put a fucking lid on that pot because it is done. Al dente, motherfucker.
Is that what you tell girls?
Yes.
He gets into bed, he slides onto the covers, and he whispers into her ear, Al
Al
dente, motherfucker.
That's like my yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. That's my equivalent.
Ben, I could imagine this be like doing like a segment where we just follow Alex at like a convention, and he's just going up to women who are playing Persona 4, like proposing.
That's
like,
God, that would be amazing. We should do that.
Nope.
Maybe I should go to PAX East after all. Like, this is the turnout.
So,
my God.
what about you, Brant? Do you have anything else to add to this beautiful show?
Yeah. But I'm checking it out now. It looks like I'm doing all the math here. It looks like somehow a day is skipped because of how the leap year falls, and we're not gonna have another Valentine's Day on a Saturday night until 2026.
What?
hey, you're alive for a little bit longer.
11 years, man!
So you know why that's bad? Because the next time it happens, I could be like, the last time that Valentine's Day fell on a Saturday, I was podcasting with 3 dudes. We got dressed and everything.
And I'm drunk, so, like, it all worked out.
Yeah, I've been drinking. I'm gonna play Majora's Mask after this.
God, I hate you with jealousy right now, in this moment.
Yeah, no, I'm at
Hate you with
the
jealousy.
the Great Bay Temple. There's your relationship pun.
Oh, I get it, because Beyonce... Shut up, Brant.
BAE, man. That's
B-A-U?
That's what
I'm
right
surprised we haven't gone down the pun of ridiculous Rants.
Wow, that's a good one. Holy shit.
Cheers to that, motherfucker. Holy shit.
I like we did call our one-on-one episode Fireside Rants, which
We
is
did. We did
Which
call
is-
her one. Hey, you know what?
Whoa, it's a one-on-one episode.
Brant, have you talked to our buddy Muskie about Ramada Inn?
No.
We need to sit down and talk to Muskie about that.
Sure. We can make that happen.
You gotta go
Yeah,
back and
no,
listen to
he's-
Fireside Rants if you want to know what the hell we're talking about.
By the way, first of all, he's working on the Ramada Inn in space. Second of all, I forgot what that meant until about 10 seconds into it. So I'm like, yeah, Muskie. Oh, right, we know Elon Musk.
It sounds
Forgot about that.
fantastic. I'll have to look
No,
this up.
it's great. If you're drunk, you might as well. First of all, Alex, you're drunk, so you should go out and you should get breakest food because that's an
Yeah, you're right.
appropriate-
I can make pancakes, because I have...
Oh god, pancakes are disgusting.
What?
Whoa.
Excuse?
Oh, the marriage is over.
This relationship is done. So are you more of like a waffles guy than a pancakes guy?
I don't like any
He's like,
kind
I
of
could be like that. I could be that for you.
any food that is that fluffy that it feels like it's suffocating me is not for me.
So I guess you're not into killer breakfast, dude.
I don't think the breakfast bandits are no longer welcome here. So
No, the breakfast bandits are gonna ride off and the omelet corral
no.
or wherever the fuck we go.
Don't get me wrong. I love some French toast and
another French toaster. So I got it. No,
I might make pancakes as well. I think I'm in the mix.
God.
yeah, man. I can
Vanilla-
send you a
vanilla.
pretty dope recipe. So
Yeah, mine is pour contents into thing, add water.
add Bisquick to water.
No, I don't do Bisquick. I'm an Aunt Jemima devotee.
Okay, I like the one that's not either of those things, but I can't forget.
See, Ben, this is exactly what it's like when you and Alex talk about Persona.
Wait, you haven't played Persona, Brand?
Isn't it just grating? Yeah, it's not a thing I've done.
Well, I don't
Things
judge
things
anyone
just got awkward.
based on the color of their persona. I don't know if that was.
Oh.
It's a really weird thing to say.
Yeah,
I'm trying to
hilarious.
think if we
he's
had.
just saying that
any
because
other
Ben is
questions.
white.
In middle school, he was white.
Yeah,
In
yeah.
middle
Oh,
school, I was white.
Ben, where
Not
did you
any other
go?
time. Nowhere.
Okay. Yeah.
Middle school, Ben was white. Now he's a shade of gray.
50 of them, actually.
No, just one.
Just one shade of gray.
After this podcast is over, which is probably gonna be pretty soon, he's gonna end the call and call his wife and be like,
I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry for just fucking everything.
My wife actually just texted me. She said she went to bed.
After this podcast is over, Ben is going to tell us that story.
I will tell you that story after this
because
podcast is
I have
over.
to know.
That's true. Okay.
Can I?
Okay,
can I take us
podcast
home?
over.
Bye.
Is it time for me to take us home, guys?
Yeah, take us home.
Brand-
Sure.
Guys, it's been another ridiculous night. Remember, you can follow us all on Twitter. I am at Ben Riddick. Brant is at BRanj, BRANJ. Sam is at DJ Fluffkins, DJFLUFFKINS, I think. And Alex One Ill, or O'Neill, depending on how you pronounce it, can be found at ALFighter27. Because the two of us, we have handles that you don't really need to spell out for people, because it's kind of obvious. Follow the podcast at RiddickulousRT. Be sure to like us on YouTube, Ridiculous Prod. Subscribe to us on YouTunes. iTube and YouTunes. I have been drinking just a little bit tonight. Like us on YouTube. Subscribe on iTunes. Follow our website for all of the updates, www.nkrn.org. Guys, it has been another ridiculous night, and remember, you can't spell ridiculous without Riddick.